Our next Eagle Classic features Bridgewater men's track and field winning the ODAC championship on their home facility in 2015. Bridgewater was going for the sweep that year after taking both the cross-country and indoor ODAC titles. And the Eagles would make it 3 for 3 on the Jobson track.
Getting ready for the trials in the men's 400 meters. 6 athletes in each of 3 heats. First heat will have Washington and Lee's John Jones in lane 3, Bridgewater's Sam Gunter, the top seed, in lane 4, Lynchburg's Aaron Wood in lane 5, Shenandoah's Ansel Borhauer in lane 6, Virginia Wesleyan's Marquis Civils in lane 7, and Bridgewater's Danny Breedlove in lane 8. Athletes are through the first 100 meters, into the backstretch now. Looks like Gunter has pulled ahead. So the other athletes all pretty even. We'll see who's ahead as they come into the stretch. It does appear to be Gunter, the top seed, ahead. Coming to the final 100 meters, it is Gunter. 2 athletes behind him. Washington and Lee's John Jones in second. Shenandoah's Borhauer in third. Breedlove from Bridgewater kicking on the outside. Gunter will come across. Unofficially, 49.3. Looked like Jones in second. Gunter 49.28. Official time, Jones 49.97. Borhauer was in third, 50.53. Breedlove closed well. He's finished fourth, 50.94. Not sure if that'll be good enough or not for the finals. We've got 16 competitors scheduled here for the men's 10K. Top seed is Jordan Lehman from EMU, 33.47.53. But we've got some contenders without a seed time. We have Andre Concharos from Guilford, and of course Luke Soule from Bridgewater, the defending champion. He won this race last year in 32.25.10. So a handful of the top entrants have not run a 10K yet this spring and don't have seed times, but will certainly be right out there in front. 25 laps, 6.2 miles for the 10K. Should have pretty much everything now in terms of results from the day. We've read a lot of them to you earlier, but throughout the men's and women's 10K, we'll probably go back through everything that's happened today. Get you both to at least the top 6 scoring places in the field events today, along with the 8 finalists who qualified for tomorrow in all of the track events. Let's go over the schedule a little bit for tomorrow. Again, we should be live streaming from around 1:30 to 5:30 p.m. Track events start at 1:30 with the 4x1, men and then women. At 1:50 is the 1500, again, men first. 2:20 will be the men's 110 hurdles final. 2:30 will be the women's 100-meter hurdle final. At 2:40 is the 400-meter finals. 3 o'clock starts the 100-meter finals. 3:20 are the 800-meter finals. Again, these are all men's first and then women's. 3:40, the 400-meter hurdles. 4 o'clock, the 200 meters. At 4:20, we'll have the final of the men's 5K. 4:40, the final of the women's 5K. And we'll wrap it up at 5:15 with the men's 4x4 and 5:25 with the women's 4x4. Should have awards announced a little later. You can check online, odaconline.com, bridgewatereagles.com, or your school's website, and they should have results and the conference award winners later on Saturday evening. We're off now in the 10K. On their first lap now. And we'll try to keep an eye maybe on the first mile split. Should give us a clue on how everyone's doing. Then we'll get to reading you some results as this race goes on.
So the 2015 Outdoor Conference Championship was pretty special for our men's team in particular. We ended up winning the meet, and that actually was the 3rd championship that we brought home for the season. So we finished the Triple Crown after winning cross country back in the fall, the indoor championships, and then the spring championships. I think at the time we were only the 2nd school in ODAC history to do that in men's cross-country, indoor, and outdoor track. So again, just a pretty special moment for us as a group, as coaches, and certainly for our athletes that weekend. It was a team effort. We had scores in 15 of 20 events, which if you're going to win a conference championship in our sport, you've certainly got to be able to score in an overwhelming majority of, if not near all, 20 of the events at the meet. So we had about 17 all ODAC honors that came out of that group. We had 8 people that won 6 events for us, and it was, like I said, just a team effort across the board and a really great weekend for us.
The field comes around into the home stretch. It is still Soul leading the way. Pretty much the entire field comes through the 800, about 251. So a little under 6-minute mile pace early on. Pretty much all but 1 or 2 competitors in that main pack, a few starting to get dropped a little bit. Soul now in 3rd. See, the men's hammer results have been posted, so I think we have all our field events in. We'll start getting to some results. Let's say after the first mile, I guess we'll read prelim results during the men's race, and then go through all the field event results again during the women's race. Coming through now, and it's Lehman from EMU. Back in front, a couple of W&L runners, and Soul are right behind him as they go through 1,200 meters. Now 4 athletes off the back, but everyone else still with that pack, although should start to see it stretched out pretty quickly as some of the contenders start to set their pace. Still looks like 11 runners. 11 of the 16 all pretty much together. And we'll see what they come through on that first mile split. Clock just at about 5:10 right now. Here they come, still Lehman in front. I believe that's Mark Gensberg from Washington in lead, and Soul in 3rd. Coming through the first mile, about 5:34 for that lead pack, which still includes 11 runners.
Our field event crew was pretty spectacular over the course of this weekend. They scored 71 points, and that was across 8 field events, so our throws and jumps combined. We had a few event winners. Pete Monteleone took home the high jump title that weekend. Stefan Vessels won the triple jump title in pretty exciting fashion on his last jump, beating out his teammate Darren Council, who had taken the lead in the previous round. Don Mills ended up winning the shot put as well. Darren, after finishing second in the triple jump, ended up being all conference in the discus with a 3rd place finish. He also scored a few points in the shot put for us. So that group really was key to the win for us. And the individuals in that group, really, like I said, stepped up and made sure that we were in a good position especially on the first day, which is a field event heavy day as far as final events. So we really were set up well going into the finals for the other half of the field events and the running events after the first day of the meet. And those guys brought it home on the second day in the morning sessions and really set things up. And when our guys got on the track to start running in the afternoon, they knew what they had to do and knew what they needed to accomplish for us to continue to build on our lead and be in a position to win at the end of the day.
In the trials, Virginia Wesleyan Shaquila Danielle, Washington Lee's Janie Fagati, Virginia Wesleyan's Tiana Hughes, Washington Lee's Cara Ferroni and Sarah Helms, and Roanoke's Bryn McDougall. Those are your 8 qualifiers in the 400. We also had prelims in the hurdle events. In the women's 100 hurdle prelims, Roanoke's Melanie Meadows and Erin McGovern made the final, along with Shenandoah's Jacqueline Molman. 3 Washington and Lee runners, Jillian Catterhagen, Jennifer Freiberg, and Kaylee Hinton, and then Randolph's Marissa Quarty and Jessie Spencer. Bridgewater's Brooke Purdue missing out by 1 spot in 9th. There was no prelims of the women's 400 hurdles, as the 8 finalists will move on till tomorrow. So it looks like that's it for women's prelims on the track from today. I'll get you the men's prelim results a little later in this race. Again, during the women's 10K, we'll go over everything that happened in the field events. Athletes are back on the home stretch. Soul still in 3rd. I think that's Goncharos from Guilford behind him, leading the way. Still Jordan Lehman and Mark Gensberg. Here comes that group again, now led by Bridgewater's Luke Soul. See what the card says. Again, I think as the field is fanned out, they may have lost track a little bit. I'm not sure if they have a mile to go. They may have 3. And they're through again. 28:04 on the clock. Luke Soul now making a bit of a move. Luke Soul, is this the decisive move? It's actually one of his Bridgewater teammates in 2nd. Strahler still hanging in there too. But Luke Soul, the favorite in this race, waited for his chance and now opening up a bit of a lead. Here they come back around. Soul is in front. Maybe starting to pull away now. Here's the move from Luke Soul. And Soul coming around. Soul now up by about 20 meters on the rest of the field.
He's pushing. I hope he has enough for the end.
Soul will have about a kilometer to go in a minute as he comes to the end of the backstretch, and right there, 1K to go for Luke Soul. He'll have 2 laps as he comes back around. And Soul opening up a bigger and bigger gap. This might be the decisive move to win this race. Still, Goncharos leading the chase pack. Another Bridgewater runner in there along with Strahler. So that's actually Wyatt Campbell from Bridgewater in that second group. I may have mistakenly said he was the one in 6th earlier. Soul with less than 800 meters to go. Pretty much lost track of the rest of the field at this point. I thought it was Campbell from Bridgewater who had fallen off in 6th, but that looked to be Wyatt Campbell in the chase group with Max Strahler from Washington and Lee, Andre Goncharos from Guilford, If so, those would be places second, third, and fourth. They're now about 30, 40 meters behind Luke Soul. Soul made this move with a little under a mile to go. He's got 500 meters to hold on. Campbell now in fourth. Soul coming down the home stretch. He'll hear the bell in a minute. Goncharos and Strahler trying to recover. They've pulled ahead now of Wyatt Campbell, who's in fourth, and Luke Soul with a lap to go. And now Goncharos and Strahler coming through. Luke Soul still kicking it in. The Bridgewater Eagle Senior, the defending champion in this event. Goncharos in second as they come down the backstretch. Looks like Luke Soul with 200 meters to go is going to win this. Goncharos still being chased by Strahler. Here's Luke Soul. Luke Soul looking back. Those athletes have stuck within 50 meters of him, but he's got this one. Here's Soul down the stretch. For the second straight year, Bridgewater's Luke Soul will win the ODAC championship in the 10,000 meters. Quite a kick coming from Goncharos and Strahler. Remaining athletes here really pumped up by this kick. Goncharos will hold it off. Luke Soul will win. Goncharos in second. And Strahler from Washington and Lee in third. And here coming in fourth, Wyatt Campbell with an impressive race for the Eagle. And he's across. Last we saw, Bridgewater had places fifth and sixth. Not sure exactly where they are, but they should be coming in as well. This looks like Matt Denlinger, and it is. So Denlinger from Bridgewater come across in fifth, still looking for sixth place, which would be the final scoring place in this event. Denlinger is across. In the championship heat of the men's 1,500 meters, 12 athletes in this race. Bridgewater, always strong in distance events, has 4. Looks like Washington and Lee has 3 runners in here. Mackenzie Leroy, Ian McDonald, and Levi Waring. Bridgewater have Nevin Heckman, certainly one of the favorites, Connor Magruder, Trey Gibson, and Keith Thomas. McDonald from Washington and Lee, he is the highest, or correction, the best seed coming in. McDonald with a seed time of 3:56.82. Actually the only runner in the field so far under 4 minutes. We'll probably see a few more go under right now. As they're off, other competitors, Justin Ginnings from Roanoke, Ryan Purrington from Randolph, Alec Thibodeau from EMU, Drew Smith from Lynchburg, and Kevin Waterman from Roanoke. Coming around the first lap. And leading the way would be Ginnings, the freshman from Roanoke. Right behind him is McDonald and Nevin Heckman from W&L and Bridgewater. Probably 2 of the favorites. Everyone still in a pack is about to hit the 400-meter split. Now fanning out a little bit. Leaders go through 400 meters in about 65 seconds, so a slow first lap. Surely they'll pick it up here. Actually going through a bit slower than the first heat. Clearly everyone waiting to see who makes the first move. Still everybody there. And it still looks like Ginnings from Roanoke setting the pace. Maybe with 800 to go, we'll see someone try to make a move. McDonald from W&L still there. Thibodeau from EMU right up front as well now. Athletes jockeying. A lot of pushing going on. Trying to see who can break out from this slow pace being set early on. If they're not careful, could open the door to top runners from that last heat. Coming through 800 meters in 2:12. So pretty even pace for the first 2 laps. And now picking it up. We had at least one runner from last heat under 4:10, so they risk opening the door for them moving into the top 6, although I think we'll ultimately see them picking it up over these last 2 laps. A couple athletes off the back, but most of the field still in it. This is McDonald now leading the way. Heckman in that trail group now seeing on the outside Kevin Waterman, another freshman from Roanoke, trying to move up as well. And with the bell lap, McDonald has a lead from about a couple of meters. Nevin Heckman now from Bridgewater moving in. Here is the kick. McDonald opening up a lead. Nevin Heckman trying to match it. And a whole pack right behind him. McDonald kicking it down the backstretch. Now Giddings from Roanoke surging back ahead of Heckman. Another Bridgewater runner in that group as well. Haven't seen his number. 4 runners trying to chase McDonald. Heckman back in 4th. Now they're starting to close. Here they come for the final 100. Can McDonald hold them off? He moves to the outside of lane 1. And it's Giddings from Roanoke who was leading early, pushing back. It's also Trey Gibson from Bridgewater in the mix, and McDonald falls. McDonald will get up to finish the race. It was Roanoke's Giddings who takes it, followed by Gibson and Heckman from Bridgewater. Looks like the starter getting ready now. There's the call for runners to get on their mark, so should be off in just a matter of seconds now. Kenyon in lane 1, last into the blocks. Runner set. And they're off in the 110-meter hurdle finals. Robinson from EMU in the lead, but he's got Lynchburg's Fuentes right with him. It's going to be Robinson and Fuentes. Fuentes clipped a hurdle, and Robinson will win with Fuentes in 2nd. Complex 2015 ODAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships about to get underway with the 400-meter finals. Men's first. 8 finalists in the 400. Shenandoah's Ansel Borhauer in lane 1. Virginia Wesleyan's Dan Elmore in lane 2 and Trey White in lane 3. Bridgewater's Sam Gunther, the top time in the prelims, 49.28. He'll be in lane 4. Washington and Lee, Isidro Camacho in lane 5 and John Jones in lane 6. Virginia Wesleyan's Eris Reyes in lane 7. And Danny Breedlove from Bridgewater in lane 8. So Virginia Wesleyan with 3 athletes in this final. Bridgewater looking to pick up some points in a tight team competition against Lynchburg. They have 2 in the finals. Lynchburg, nobody in the 400-meter finals, so a chance for the Eagles, especially with Gunter. Just had the call from the starters. We'll be underway in a couple of seconds. Athletes on their blocks. Looks like Borhauer from Shenandoah not using blocks. And there is the gun, and they're off in the men's 400-meter final. Early move from Eris Reyes from Virginia Wesleyan. Reyes in good shape in lane 7. It's like Gunter running well in the middle. Going through 200 to go. Reyes falling back a little bit. Sam Gunter now moving in front. Gunter, and right with Gunter is Trey White from Virginia Wesleyan. It's Gunter and White. Gunter and White neck and neck, followed by W&L's Camacho and Jones. Gunter maybe tightening up a bit. Trey White, and Trey White takes it from Virginia Wesleyan. Looked like Gunter in second. Might have been the two Washington and Lee runners, Camacho and Jones, following that in lanes 5 and 6. And there's the gun for the second heat of the men's 800. 8 athletes, so 1 dropping out. And they'll cut in here in the back stretch. And it looks like Eastern Mennonites' Patrick Graber, the top seed time, is out in front. Pack of 5 athletes sticking right behind him. Fanning out a bit, although it's still that 6. Led into the home stretch by Graber. Graber followed by Levi Rees from Lynchburg, and then Bridgewater's Keith Thomas. Those are the top 3. Randolph's Matthew Meyer in 4th. Pack of 3 goes through the first 400, about 59 seconds. It's still Graber. Graber's been leading the entire way. And now Thomas from Bridgewater trying to make a move. It is Thomas surging into first. Yeah, Thomas legging it out now. Good kick from the Bridgewater junior. He'd have to go under 2 minutes probably to have any chance of pushing into the top 6. He's got 200 meters to go now. Rees from Lynchburg in second. Couple other athletes catching up now to Graber, who did all the work early. It's going to be Keith Thomas way out in front. Thomas driving down the final 100 meters. See what the time is. Clock at 150 now. If he can really kick, he might put himself into the mix. Keith Thomas driving, and 159. Unofficially,
so
Keith
in
Thomas.
the sprint middle distance events, hurdle events, we had a couple of pretty standout performances. One of the big ones that really sticks out even to this day was Sam Gunther's efforts in the 400 and the 800. That's a really tough double to do. Sam ended up second in both of those events, and he had about a 25 or 30 minute turnaround in between those events max. So to race the way he did was certainly awesome to watch. I know it got a lot of his teammates pretty hyped up. I think, he knew when we asked him, to take on that task, what it was going to entail and how tough it was going to be. And he really rose to the occasion and really put himself out there as one of the lead guys on the team for us at that meet. He came back later and was on our 4x4 that won that event also, and pretty convincing fashion as they ran 3:19 that day. So Sam and some of our guys in the hurdles definitely came through for us in those events and really put up some big time performances for us.
Outdoor track and field championships. About to get underway with the 400 meter hurdles. Men are on the track first. 8 finalists in lane 1, Virginia Wesleyan's Krishode Hawkins. In lane 2, EMU's Jonathan Bush. In lane 3, Lynchburg's Chris Cobiella. In lane 4, EMU's Connor Faint. In lane 5, Lynchburg's Brian Fuentes. In lane 6, Bridgewater's Brian Kenward. In lane 7, EMU's Richard Robinson. And in lane 8, Guilford's Joshua Clemens. Those are your 8 finalists in the blocks now. And looks like had a few hurdles on the women's height. And still waiting now while a few other hurdles are checked. And now we're ready to go. We'll read you updated team standings after this. Still tight between Bridgewater and Lynchburg. Lynchburg with 2 in this final, 1 for Bridgewater. So a chance for Lynchburg potentially to take the lead after this event. And there's the gun in the 400 hurdle final. And immediately Lynchburg's Fuentes surging past Brian Kenward. Over the 5th hurdle, Fuentes appears to be out in front of everybody. Let's see where they stand as they come into the stretch. To Fuentes, now EMU's Connor Faint making a push. It's Faint in front with 100 meters to go. Fuentes next. Here's Faint. Kenward is running in 3rd. Kenward battling with EMU's Jonathan Bush. Bush now surging ahead. Faint will win. It looks like EMU will take 1st and 3rd. Lynchburg in 2nd. Kenward may have held off another Lynchburg runner, Kobiella, for 4th, although that was close. Bridgewater's Luke Soul. He won the 10K last night, and he's the top seed in this event. 2nd seed is Washington and Lee's Max Strahler, followed by Guilford's Andre Goncharos. And then after that, a couple more Eagles, Bridgewater's Trey Gibson, Connor Magruder, Matt Denlinger, and Tim Miller are seeded 4th through 7th. Roanoke's Harrison Toney, the winner in the steeplechase. And then Bridgewater's Wyatt Campbell seeded 9th. Overall, we have 26 participants listed. Try to read off the other names. Washington and Lee's Ian McDonald trying to recover from that fall at the end of 1,500 meters. EMU's Jordan Lehman, Virginia Wesleyan's Trevor Maloney, EMU's Jesse Parker, Randolph's Ryan Purrington, Roanoke's Josh Wiggins, EMU's Jonathan Nisley, Roanoke's Colin Brennan, Shenandoah's Matthew Gasias, Lynchburg's Denver Yost, Virginia Wesleyan's Spencer Haver, Shenandoah's Winston Davis, Guilford's Quint Simones, Washington and Lee's Jacob Strauss, Virginia Wesleyan's Matt Cook, Washington and Lee's Levi Waring, and Guilford's David Cason. So that is the 26-runner field. And they're off in the men's 5,000 meters. .12.5 laps in this event. And right out, Luke Soul from Bridgewater leading the way. Everybody right there. Good Charles from Guilford on the inside. Saw EMU's Jonathan Nisley right on the outside up in front.
In the distance events, that was sort of the other bread and butter area for us during the weekend. They scored 58 points as a group from the 800 on up through the 10K. We had a really good support cast, so Luke Soul ended up doing some heavy lifting for us. He was the winner in the 5K and the 10K. Tough double to do 10K closed out things on Friday evening. Luke went to work in that event and ended up producing for us there and giving us a good boost. Came back the next day, competed in the 5K, competed hard, another good win for him there. A lot of the guys that were on the distance team that year and were part of that group came up big with some all-conference performances as well, the 1500 with Trey Gibson and Nevin Heckman going 2-3 in that event. We had some good support in the steeplechase from those guys. And then you had, Matt Denlinger and Wyatt Campbell and those other guys picking up extra points for us in the 10K and the 5K throughout the course of the weekend. So those guys were really the other big component for us as far as what we were able to accomplish that weekend, and they were a big factor all season. And I think coming off of the win during the cross-country season that fall, coming off of a trip to the NCAA championship meet as a team for the second straight year, really was a boost for them. They were kind of hungry all year long, and we knew that they were going to be the other big key for us. So got all those guys healthy to the meet, got all those guys in a good position to be competitive, and they stepped up to it and really took care of business for us.
Athletes about to come through 800 right here. And Luke Soul again leading the way. Goncharos in that group. Harrison from Roanoke up near the front as well. Group of Eagles hanging at the back of the lead pack. And we do have the clock on now, so we'll see some splits as they come around. They're through the first kilometer now. Still Luke Soul in front. Doing 9.3 miles of racing this weekend. He won the 10K last night. Now he's leading the 5K through the first 3 laps. Soul in first, Goncharos in second. Then it's Matt Denlinger and Harrison Toney. And then Tim Miller. And then Kason and Wyatt Campbell has worked himself back into that chase group. It's a tough lap by Campbell. Get himself right back on. They're into the final mile now. Jobson facility record set in 2008 is at 15:22. The ODAC record, familiar face, it was set by Ricky Flynn in 2010, a former Bridgewater assistant coach, 14:25.2. Here comes Soul with 3 laps to go. Continues to pull ahead. Goncharos, Toney, and Denlinger is the next pack. And then it's Kason, Miller, and Campbell. So one of those 6 will not place. Luke Soul grabbing some water on the back stretch. That chase pack of 6 all still pretty much together. Soul with into the final kilometer now. And the next 6 runners also go through with 1,000 to go. Here is Soul again. Comes around, he'll have 800 meters to go. And look at this, bit of a surge by Bridgewater's Matt Denlinger into second. Harrison Toney going with him. Kason is next. Bridgewater also currently in 5th and 6th. That's Wyatt Campbell who's moved into 5th. But Denlinger making a bit of a push. He has got a little bit of separation. It's Roanoke's Harrison Toney that went with him. Those two about 35 meters back of Soul. Now Toney into second. It's Soul, then Toney, then Denlinger, then Kason from Guilford, and then Goncharos from Guilford, followed by 2 more Bridgewater runners. Kason has moved into 3rd now. Harrison Toney in 2nd, but it's Bridgewater's Luke Soul trying to do the double after winning the 10K last night. He's going to hear the bell. Probably be or at least a chance at a Jobson facility record as well. About 14:14. Facility record is 15:22. There's Toney across, followed by Kason. Denlinger's dropped back with Miller and Campbell, so Bridgewater in 5th, 6th, and 7th. Toney pulling ahead into 2nd. Hasn't really been able to close the gap on Luke Soul, though. Luke Soul, 200 meters to go. Luke Soul looking back again. He should have it. Coming into the stretch, now Luke Soul kicks it in. Has a chance at the facility record of 15:22. Clock is at 15:10 right now. Here comes Luke Soul. He's going to do it. Another Jobson record for Luke Soul. 15:18 to win the men's 5K. Here is Harrison Toney from Roanoke finishing in 2nd in about 15:27, followed closely by Kason from Guilford, 15:29, and Goncharos from Guilford, 15:32. Bridgewater coming in with the next couple of places. I believe it was Miller getting 5th, then Denlinger, and then Wyatt Campbell in 7th. It's another good run from Luke Soul. Bridgewater picking up some points there. We'll have to see how it ultimately shakes out in the team standings as the rest of the field scattered around the track, most into their final lap. And there's a start for the men's 4x4. Lynchburg is outside in lane 8, Bridgewater in lane 5.
So the meet culminated obviously with a win for the men's team. Coach Stevens was named ODAC Coach of the Year. Great honor for him to have earned that from his peers at the end of the weekend. Sam Gunther ended up moving on through the postseason and qualified for the NCAA championships in the 800. That was his first of 2 trips to the NCAA meet. He broke the school record at the time, ran 153 in the 800 to get himself in the meet, and ended up having a good spring. He came up just a little bit short of making finals at nationals, but still a really good experience for him, and something that definitely set him up for another really big year in 2016 as a senior.
Completing the handoff. I think this is Nevin Heckman. Bridgewater may be in front when they cut in. And it will be Bridgewater in the lead. Well, now Virginia Wesleyan surging ahead. Guilford's still there as well. Those 3 teams leading the way, followed by WNL and EMU. Coming back around here, it's Heckman surging back ahead for Bridgewater. He's now neck and neck with Virginia Wesleyan, EMU, Washington and Lee, and Guilford next, Roanoke in 6th, Lynchburg currently in last. It's the handoff. It's Bridgewater in front. Bridgewater and Virginia Wesleyan in the top 2 places. EMU in 3rd. Guilford in 4th. Guilford moving up now. Guilford into 3rd. Lynchburg and Shenandoah still at the back. So Bridgewater only extending their lead here. Here they come back into the stretch, about to have the final handoff. Bridgewater in front. I think this is Gunter. Bridgewater making the handoff, followed by Virginia Wesleyan, then EMU, then Guilford, then Washington and Lee. Roanoke back in 6th. Bridgewater with a lead now in the final leg. Danny Breedlove, the anchor runner for Bridgewater, trying to finish off a conference championship with a win in the 4x4. Breedlove followed by Virginia Wesleyan. Breedlove, 100 meters to go. Breedlove coming down the stretch for Bridgewater. On their home track, Bridgewater College is going to win the ODAC championship, and they're going to cap it with a win in the 4x4. Virginia Wesleyan in 2nd, followed closely by Guilford, EMU, and then Washington and Lee. Roanoke across in 6th. See the Bridgewater men going to congratulate their relay team. It should be locked in now that the Eagles followed their indoor ODAC title with an outdoor championship.